In Assassin's Creed Red, there will be 2 playable protagonists. Unlike previous parts where we were given the choice of gender, the upcoming game will feature 2 distinct characters. The first is a legendary samurai known as Yasuke. For the first time in the series, we'll have the opportunity to play as a real historical person. Yasuke was a black samurai in Japan during the Sengoku period. This period, also known as the Warring States era, was a tumultuous time in Japanese history that lasted roughly from the mid-15th to the early 17th century. This period was characterized by social, political, and military upheaval marked by nearly constant military conflict and power struggles among feudal lords for control over Japan. The country was in crisis at that time, and European missionaries took advantage of the situation. In the 16th century, Japan experienced the arrival of Spanish and Portuguese traders who played intermediary roles in East Asian trade. They engaged in the exchange of European goods for Japanese silver. Given their origins in southern lands, the Japanese commonly referred to these traders as South Barbarians. The historical backdrop of these events will be intricately woven into the narrative of Assassin's Creed Red. Japanese feudals recognized the advantages of engaging in trade with foreigners and willingly collaborated with merchants and missionaries. This openness even led to instances of embracing Christianity. Consequently, these historical occurrences set the stage for internal conflicts among samurai clans in the Japanese islands. The ongoing discord left many shoguns dissatisfied, and a state of disunity became a socio-political norm. As you understand, the shores of Japan were frequently visited by European ships loaded with resources such as gunpowder, flour, and even slaves, and it's precisely the case that the first protagonist in Assassin's Creed Red, Yasuke, was an African slave brought along with Portuguese missionaries in 1579. His impressive appearance and physical strength immediately caught the attention of the provincial ruler Oda Nobunaga, setting the stage for an intriguing narrative. Yasuke became a trusted servant and close ally of Nobunaga, eventually earning the title of samurai along with his own armor and katana. He participated in several crucial battles and gained the trust. Nobunaga even noted that Yasuke could easily fight even 5 samurai. His considerable strength and physical prowess make for a solid foundation for Assassin's Creed Red. At the beginning of the game, his origin story should unfold, depicting his first steps on Japanese shores and his introduction to Oda Nobunaga. His true name remains unknown, but many historians referencing historical records believe he was called Yusufo. There's also a theory that his remarkable appearance and physical strength are attributed to his genetics. According to Francois Sollier's book, he was said to be a Muslim from Mozambique. However, Sollier's opinion was speculative, as Yasuke lived half a century before the book was written, and no earlier source exists about his true origins. Nevertheless, this theory holds some credibility since Mozambique was a Portuguese colony at the time and slaves were exported from there. It is believed that the first Africans in Japan were indeed Mozambicans. Nevertheless, Ubisoft's storytellers have significant creative space to adapt these historical narratives. When the Europeans set foot on Japanese shores, rumors swiftly circulated that they had brought with them a real demon. Yasuke's presence left an indelible impression due to his exceptional height and muscular physique. In reality, Yasuke is a legendary figure in whole Asian history. However, information about him is scarce, and the known details often spark debates among historians. But he proves to be a perfect character for the Assassin's Creed lore. As you've observed, even the unknown origin of Yasuke could serve as an excellent foundation for Ubisoft's scriptwriters. The story of the legendary Black Samurai has captured attention, becoming a subject of literature and films, as well as fostering interest in the cultural diversity of Japan's history. It's not realistic to expect a detailed account of Yasuke's entire history in Assassin's Creed Red. However, Oda Nobunaga is bound to make an appearance in the game. Interestingly, he's already part of the franchise's lore, albeit only appearing in Assassin's Creed Memories. Nevertheless, his full-fledged appearance is eagerly anticipated. In a nutshell, playing as Yasuke will undergo training, undertake tasks for Oda, and ultimately attain the status of a samurai. He had already become a trusted warrior of Nobunaga, participating in numerous battles on his behalf. However, Nobunaga faced betrayal from his own army, compelling him to commit harakiri. Initially marked for death, Yasuke was spared by the traitors who argued that he wasn't Japanese and therefore did not deserve such an honorable death. Following these events, Yasuke seemingly vanished without leaving any traces, contributing to one of the historical mysteries where information about the fate of the legendary samurai remains elusive. As a result, he will become a Ronin, a samurai without a master, and simply vanish. Intriguingly, there are no further records about him, leaving us in the dark about what happened to him, and precisely here lies the main plot of the game. The scriptwriters of Assassin's Creed wisely chose Yasuke as one of the protagonists. His disappearance serves as fertile ground for imagination. This historical backdrop provides Ubisoft with abundant opportunities to continue Yasuke's story. The game's outset can delve into the entire backstory involving the Europeans. The subsequent uprisings and Yasuke's disappearance will form the central plot, his quest for vengeance against the betrayers of Oda Nobunaga and his alignment with the Assassin's Brotherhood to pursue this goal will be the driving force. Currently, the fate of Yasuke remains unknown, offering game developers complete creative freedom to introduce intriguing elements into the plot based on the rich lore. I can already anticipate that in the game we'll witness how Yasuke was exiled and embarked on a journey across Japan, only to be discovered eventually by a member of the Assassin Brotherhood, Hattori Hanzo. By the way, in Assassin's Creed Memories it was mentioned that Oda Nobunaga often aided Hattori, indicating their acquaintance. Consequently, as an old friend of the slain ruler, upon learning about the entire conspiracy and betrayal, Hanzo will start training Yasuke under his wing. The second protagonist is a ninja named Naoye. Interestingly, the fates of these two characters will be intertwined and substantiated by historical events. In 1578, there was an uprising against Oda Nobunaga's rule in the Iga province, lasting for 3 years. The primary adversaries of Oda were ninjas who expressed their dissatisfaction regarding European traders. It's worth noting that trade with Europe led Japan into further crises, and in some villages there was even a ban on using foreign goods. One such place was the Iga province, which was predominantly mountainous, lacked developed transportation infrastructure, and had a challenging terrain, turning it into an inaccessible region. In this natural fortress, ninjas emerged in the 12th century, serving as professional spies and mercenaries. Naoye will hail from this region, trained in ninjutsu from childhood. She perfectly fits the stealth missions in Assassin's Creed Red. If Yasuke is a samurai who can directly engage his enemies using a katana, Naoye will require us to hide by using smoke bombs, shurikens, and possibly poison. Ninjas needed to gather secret information, use any objects as a weapon, defend against any attack. They can appear and disappear unexpectedly, stay submerged for long periods, climb rocks and structures, possess trained hearing and visual memory, and have better night vision. As you've understood, Naoye's missions will be stealth-oriented, akin to the classic Assassin's Creed games. It's worth noting that during the uprising in the Iga province, Oda Nobunaga's warriors killed Fujibayashi Nagato, so he is the father of Naoye. The potential convergence of the two main characters, with initially conflicting stories evolving into a collaboration, adds an intriguing layer to the narrative. This kind of development, where initial antagonism transforms into collaboration, can offer players a compelling and dynamic storyline. Ubisoft's decision to weave together not only Japanese history and local conflicts, but also incorporate a global narrative is a promising approach. By creating a storyline that resonates with a broad audience, the game has the opportunity to capture the interest of players from different backgrounds and preferences. The historical backdrop, along with the dynamic character relationships and global narrative, has the potential to make the game a rich and immersive experience. It's exciting to see how Ubisoft will balance historical accuracy with the creative elements of the Assassin's Creed lore, providing players with a captivating and well-rounded gaming experience. Subscribe